Hello friends, my namaste to all the history lovers. Today I am going to discuss a very sensitive topic, the philosophy of Dalit movements and Dalit literature in India during pre-independence and post-independence period. Friends, the Dalit question is one of the most important questions in today's political and academic debates in India, and during the last few decades, Dalits have assumed unprecedented significance. Despite the constitutional commitment of the goal of equality, liberty, and justice, the vast majority of Indian population is deprived socially, economically, politically, and educationally. As Dr. Yagati Chinna Rao rightly says, Dalits have not yet become a part of Indian historiography. Friends, unfortunately, neither the official nor the unofficial sources are detailed and sophisticated enough to be put together a comprehensive picture of the Dalits. In most of the historical writings, they were treated either as marginal people without a history of their own or as objects rather than as subjects. So, Dr. Chinna Rao rightly describes their condition. Friends, who are Dalits? There is no definition of Dalits in anywhere or in any book, in any scripture or anywhere. So then question arises, who are Dalits? The word Dalit, or literally meaning oppressed, is generally used to refer to people who were known as untouchables, those belonging to outcasts outside fourfold division of Varna system, Hindu Varna system you can say. So they are the most exploited, suppressed and dehumanized class of Indian society. The 2011 census recorded nearly 20.14 crore people belonging to various scheduled castes in the country. 4 states account for nearly half of the country's Dalit population. Uttar Pradesh stands first with 20.5% of the total scheduled caste population, followed by West Bengal with 10.7%, Bihar with 8.2%, and Tamil Nadu 7.2%. The slaves in United States and other European societies were better placed regarding certain minimum access to civilized life such as education and training, etc. But in India, even those minimum needs of human beings were denied to Dalits. Authors like Sukhdev Thorat and Mandar in Untouchability in Rural India argue that not much has changed in terms of social mixing or relations across caste barriers. Atrocities like rape, murder, and physical assault against Dalits are reported by the mainstream media, but social and emotional boycott largely go unnoticed. Many scholars are of the opinion that the word Dalit means crushed oppressed, exploited, hated, rejected, tortured, dejected, and deprived, and so on. Noted Dalit laureate Gangadhar Pantwane wrote, Dalit is not a caste. Dalit is a symbol of change and revolution. So according to Gangadhar Pantwane, Dalit is a symbol of change and revolution. Dalit is a man exploited by the social and economic traditions of his country. The Dalit believes in humanism. He rejects existence of God, rebirth, soul, scared books that teach discrimination. He rejects fate and heaven because these make him a slave. Friends, father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, called them Harijan, children of God or people of Hari. But modern Dalit writers have totally rejected the appellation of Harijan, including Dr. Ambedkar. Even Dr. Ambedkar rejected the appellation of Harijan. In March 1994, BSP Dalit politician Mayawati criticized Gandhi's concept of Harijan, the children of God for the SCs, and questioned why Gandhi never applied the label to himself and asked whether Gandhi is then the son of Shaitan or the devil if the Dalits are the children of God. Many Congress leaders demanded in both houses of the parliament in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha that Mayawati be punished for her controversial statement insulting the father of the nation. Friends, the word Dalit became popular as a maker of identity in 1970s when an organization, the Dalit Panthers, a militant social organization, popularized its use. Dalit Panther was founded by Namdev Dhasal in April 1972. Its leadership was drawn from a new generation of young poets and writers. The Dalit Panthers proved to be the spark that set off a wave of organizing efforts throughout the country. Dalit Panthers organization became very popular. Many Dalit activists joined the organization. Few months back, on April 11, 2012, one of the founder members of Dalit Panther, Raja Dhale, launched a new organization, Phule Ambedkar Vichardhara, PAV, Phule Ambedkar Vichardhara, and claimed that it would reach out to the people with the thoughts of Mahatma Phule as well as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and give a new direction to the oppressed communities. Raja Dhale said Dalits were leaderless as the existing leaders of Dalits had made a mockery of democracy. Dalits were divided and lacked many proper direction. Friends, now if you will go through modern Indian history during the first 2-3 decades of 19th century, you will find some social reformers in India like Gopal Hari Deshmukh, Jyotiba Phule. His full name was Jyotiba Govind Phule, and some others reformers attempted to acknowledge the significance of Dalits and made an attempt to uplift their condition. The pitiable condition of Dalits was seen and well addressed by these social reformers and philosophers. Writings of Gopal Hari Deshmukh and Jyotiba Phule contained bitter attacks against social inequalities of traditional society, the caste system, and Brahmanic oppression of the low castes. Gopal Hari Deshmukh, he was popularly known as Lokhitvadi. So Gopal Hari Deshmukh was the pioneer of all-sided reformism in Maharashtra. He was the fine product of the new learning of the West. He is popularly known as Lokhitvadi, the pen name under which he wrote 100 letters, Shatpatri, 100 letters addressed to his countrymen. He wished that people should know the real situation, reform themselves, and renounce their time-honored prejudices to make India again a strong country. Jyotiba Phule was one of the prominent social reformers and a great visionary thinker of 19th century India. His rational arguments created a new hope and awareness in the minds of lower class people. He expounded his common sense approach in his epoch making books such as Sarvajnik Satya Dharma. Sarvajnik Satya Dharma means public religion and truth. Brahmanache Kasab, Brahmin skill. Gulamgiri, slavery, and Shetkaryacha Asud, farmer's whip. These books are in Marathi language. These books are Phule's critique of Hindu religion and a scathing criticism of Brahmanism. He led the movements against the prevailing caste restrictions in India. He revolted against the domination of Brahmins and other upper castes and termed them as hypocrites. In 1873, he founded the Satya Shodhak Samaj, Society of Seekers of Truth, an organization for the uplift of Dalits and untouchables. The purpose of the organization, Satya Shodhak Samaj, was to liberate the people of lower castes from the suppression of Brahmins and uplift their condition. Friends, in the 20th century, scholars have produced a tremendous amount of literature in various Indian languages to make a detailed study of Dalits. Literature produced on the lives of Dalits by their own people is invaluable, and in spite of all kind of prejudices, they provide exhaustive information about the Dalits. Dalits in Maharashtra since early 1970s and later in other states realized that the established literature written by the upper caste Hindu writers is primarily anti-Dalit in portraying their negative imagery. So, they don't have faith in, even today they don't have faith in upper caste writers. So in response, they have started writing their own literature, popularly known as Dalit literature, which is accepted as the Dalit literature movement. Writers like Anna Bhau Sathe and Shankar Rao Kharat portrayed the deplorable condition of Dalits in their novels and gave the Dalit a heroic position in literature for the first time. So friends, these Dalit writers attacked the caste system and socio-economic exploitation of Dalits. Moreover, Dalit writers had played an important role in shaping modern Dalit consciousness. They are of the opinion that a Savarna writer can never understand the plight of Dalits. I am repeating this sentence. They are of the opinion that a Savarna writer can never understand the plight of Dalits. Therefore, only Dalit can write Dalit literature, which deals with the indignities they suffer. However, some Savarna progressive writers like V.S. Khandekar, S.M. Mate, G.T. Madkolkar, M.B. Chitnis, S.P. Kharhade, W.L. Kulkarni, R.G. Jadhav, D.K. Bedekar, etc. depicted the sufferings and suppressions and pitiable condition of Dalits, and their contribution cannot be ignored. Even when we see Hindi literature of early 20th century, you will find writers like Munshi Premchand, Nirala, Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, and many others depicted the pitiable condition of Dalits in their poetries, in their novels, and in their stories, etc. So it is significant that the Dalit literature owes its origin to a revolutionary struggle started by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for a change in the social, cultural, literary and economic hegemony of the caste Hindus. In the late 1920s, Ambedkar for the first time raised the issue of equality, liberty and fraternity, and a word, social justice, to be accorded to the untouchables or the then depressed classes. As far as an ideal society is concerned, Ambedkar says, my ideal society would be based on liberty, equality and fraternity. It seems he was very much impressed with the slogans of French Revolution. Therefore, he advocated liberty, equality and fraternity. An ideal society should be full of channels for conveying a change taking place in one part to other parts. In an ideal society, according to Ambedkar, in an ideal society, there should be many interests consciously communicated and shared. In other words, there must be social endosmosis. So, friends, as you will see in the coming years, Dalit consciousness derives, coming years in the 19th century, Dalit consciousness derives its energy from Dr. Ambedkar's worldview and philosophy. Broadly speaking, in the first half of 20th century, you can say, the Dalit consciousness derives its energy from Dr. Ambedkar's worldview and philosophy. Broadly speaking, the ideology of Dalit writings is centered on the goals of achieving equality, liberty, fraternity and social justice. So these terms, liberty, fraternity, equality and social justice, these terms are the core of Ambedkar's ideology, which is the main source of inspiration for contemporary Dalit writings in India. Ambedkar did not believe in Chatur Varnya, fourfold division of Indian society or Varna system, Varna Vyavastha. He is of the opinion Chatur Varnya is impracticable, harmful and turned out to be a miserable failure. From a practical point of view, the system of Chatur Varnya raises several difficulties which its protagonists do not seem to have taken into account. So, Ambedkar was very much against the Varna system, Chatur Varnya system, fourfold division of society. In his view, all the Varnas included some kind of racial mixture. For instance, original Shudras were a tribe of Kshatriya Aryans who had been degraded due to conflicts with Brahmins, only later being assimilated with the conquered darker skinned non-Aryans. According to Ambedkar, many people who refused to embrace the Varnashram Dharma must have paid a price for it. They must have been declared outcasts. The process began in the 2nd century BC after Pushyamitra's triumph in 185 BC. Dalit activists regarded Ambedkar as one who broke away from Hinduism to achieve emancipation from the caste system. Gandhi, on the other hand, is accused of attempts to include the SCs among the Hindus. The protest of Dalits is directed against Manuvad. Mayavati often criticizes Manuvad. Dalit writers agree that their literature must reflect Ambedkar's ideology of social equality, liberty and fraternity, opposition to Varna system, casteism, opposition to casteism and opposition to communalism, belief in Buddhism, opposition to feudalism, opposition to Brahmanism, opposition to capitalism, hegemony and domination and all kind of injustices. So there are many scholars who trace a long history of Dalit literature. The seeds of Dalit consciousness are clearly visible in the religious poetry and devotional songs of Bhakti saints of medieval period. Ramanand was a famous Bhakti saint whose 12 disciples were from lower castes. He was strongly opposed to the restrictions and injustice of castes. He was the pioneer of social reformers in medieval India and Historian Robin Reinhardt calls him the real Hindu Luther. He was just like Martin Luther. Martin Luther protested against the atrocities of Roman Catholic Church. Likewise, Ramanand was against the caste system and caste injustices. Ramanand took more radical approach of teaching to all castes, and his disciples included Hindus, Muslims, and Dalits, and many other lower castes. Bhakti saints like Ravi Das, Kabir, Tukaram, Dadu, and Guru Nanak, etc., attacked the caste system and insisted on equality and dignity of human beings. Yet, historical accounts of Dalit movements organized before the era of social reform are not easily available. Taking inspiration from social reform movements carried in different parts of the country, Dalits had organized a number of movements all over the country against their socio-religious discrimination, against economic exploitations, against physical violation, and all kind of atrocities committed on them over a period of time. Dalit liberation movement really began to take off from the 1920s. The most important of the early Dalit movements were the Aad Dharm movement in Punjab, 1926. The movement under Ambedkar in Maharashtra, mainly based among Mahars. The Naam Shudra movement in Bengal, the Adi Dravid movement in Tamil Nadu, the Adi Andhra movement in Andhra, the Adi Karnataka movement, the Adi Hindu movement, mainly centered around Kanpur in UP, and the organizing of Pulayas and Cherumans in Kerala. During the 1930s and 1940s, the second phase of Dalit movement began to take shape under the stalwart leadership of Dr. Ambedkar. The few literate and educated among Dalits under Ambedkar's leadership and being inspired by his ideology took to writing. The main objective of their writing was to oppose the traditional social norms and value systems and to develop a Dalit consciousness. The tendencies among the Dalits for organizing and their striving for power also became manifested during this period. Whether these were achieved or not is a different matter. Thus, Dalit consciousness in modern India is the result of Ambedkar's writings and his struggle to restore the dignity of Dalits. Friends, the third phase of Dalit movements in the post-independence period has continued in one way or the other. After independence, the issues of socio-economic upliftment of Dalits were discussed and incorporated by the constitution framers, and special provisions were included in the Constitution of India. Various constitutional measures have been initiated for providing them privileges in positions in the democratic institutions, and thereby the scheduled castes are substantially represented in a statutory panchayats, assemblies and the parliament. After the death of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, his trusted lieutenant Dada Sahib Gaikwad led the post-Ambedkar Dalit movement and started a mass struggle for land. His movement gained an overwhelming support from the masses all over the country. It was the first time that the economic dimension of Dalit problem was effectively integrated with the social operation. Rest of the Dalit leadership embellished with university degrees disproved intellectually incapable Gaikwad's struggle as being communist and declared that it had no place in Ambedkarian agenda. Later, in early 1970s, as I said earlier, Dalit Panthers brought in a change in this leadership model. They challenged mainstream society that routinely ignored their plight, advocating self-pride and self-help among Dalits. Dalit Panthers became a creditable force in the 70s. After Kanshi Ram's emergence, Kanshi Ram was a Punjabi Dalit, so after his emergence as a Bahujan Samaj leader, Dalit's main stress was on sharing power and privileges, electoral politics, and to achieve equality, freedom and justice for the Dalit community as a whole. The obsession with capturing power robbed Mr. Kanshi Ram of certain fundamental values that Ambedkar never compromised. In 1995, the BSP made history by presenting, BSP means Kanshi Ram's political party, Bahujan Samaj Party. So BSP made history in 1995 by presenting Mayawati as the first ever Dalit Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. The BSP was known to have an anti-Hindu stance at the beginning of 1990s, and Mayawati made it a habit to criticize Brahmins and upper caste Hindus, to leave the premises and she often told Hindus to leave the premises before she started her speeches. Many regional outfits like Dalit Mahasabha in Andhra Pradesh, mass movement in Maharashtra, Dalit Sena in Bihar, etc. are also involved in electoral politics and power sharing. However, it is not possible to ignore the Dalit community anymore. Now, Dalits have suffered a lot in India. Their forefathers were exploited and destroyed. Their growth was stunted. Dalitism is the answer to all this. Dalitism, what is Dalitism? Dalitism means philosophy of Dalits, a Dalit philosophy. So Dalit philosophy is developed to pave the way for a liberal tradition against casteism and untouchability. Friends, the new revolutionary philosophy of Dalitism also stipulates that Dalits alone can liberate Dalits from the ruling class. So Dalits are being organized for their liberation. Dalits have become part of the public consciousness and public debate in India. Even in Hindi literature, Dalit Vimarsh and Stri Vimarsh is very popular nowadays. In contemporary India, a debate is going on over the question of who writes Dalit literature and who are the Dalits. The Indian English writer Mulk Raj Anand was the first to insulate Dalit literature through his novels like Untouchable, The Coolie in English means English language, in his English novels. His books are translated in different Indian languages. He focused his attention on the sufferings and miseries of the poor and the downtrodden people of Indian society. Dalit writers like Dr. Dharmveer, Dr. S.K. Limbale, Om Prakash Valmiki, etc. are of the opinion that Dalit literature is literature written by Dalits with the consciousness of being Dalit, and that which deals with the experience of life as a Dalit. According to Sharan Kumar Limbale, S.K. Limbale, he says, I consider my book a weapon to fight the rotten system. So, Mr. Limbale wants to use his books as a weapon. Dalit literature is one in which the Dalit himself expresses his own anguish. The primary motive of Dalit literature is the liberation and upliftment of the Dalits. Poems, short stories, novels, autobiographies written by Dalit writers provided useful insights on the question of Dalit identity. Dalit writers presently are able to show not only the hostile circumstances in which Dalits live, but also their struggle for emancipation from caste. Noted Dalit writer Gangadhar Pantwane writes, Dalit literature is the mirror of our society. Gangadhar Pantwane writes, Dalit literature is the mirror of our society. It very strongly depicts all kind of atrocities we suffered and our experiences. We use Dalit literature as a weapon for our liberation. It invokes an all-pervading revolution. So friends, Dalit literature is an open revolt against oppression, inequality, injustice and insult. Dalit literary movement has proved an important platform to the lower classes to express their sense of identity and solidarity. Dalit literature is slowly emerging as a discipline of academic study as well, and it represents a powerful emerging trend in the Indian literary scene. On the other hand, Dalit literature has been repeatedly attacked by Dalit critics and non-Dalit writers. One can hope Dalit literature will progress and find acceptance among present and future generations. So thank you very much friends. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Now once again I appeal you to please comment, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Have a good day.